There are certain cars that can't be explained properly by listing specifications alone. The Toyota MR2 is one of them. This isn't just a product of a factory. It feels more like a bold decision. Toyota made at a time when playing it safe would have been much easier. While the world knew Toyota as a maker of sensible, reliable family cars, they chose to build something small, light and daring, with the engine placed in the middle, a layout usually reserved for expensive supercars. The name MR2 itself is honest and straightforward. Mid-engine, rear-wheel drive, two-seater, no exaggeration, no gimmicks. From the very beginning, this car was never meant to please everyone. It was built for people who genuinely enjoy driving. The story of the MR2 begins in the mid-1980s with the first generation, the AW11. By today's standards, its design might not seem dramatic. Sharp lines, boxy proportions, and those unmistakable pop-up headlights that define the era. But that simplicity is exactly where its charm lies. The car is small, incredibly light, and feels like it was designed with rulers, pencils, and a lot of courage. Sit behind the wheel, and it immediately feels different from most Toyotas of its time. The driving position is low, the view forward is clean, and there's nothing trying to distract you from the act of driving. Just behind the seats sits the legendary 4AGE engine. It doesn't produce massive power, but it's full of character, eager to rev, alive at high RPM, and always encouraging you to push a little further. The AW11 is a car that talks to you. The steering tells you exactly what the front tires are doing. The chassis responds honestly to every input, and the balance feels natural. But it also has a reputation. If you're careless, if you enter a corner too fast or get overconfident, the car won't hesitate to remind you who's in charge. Oversteer can arrive suddenly without warning. Some call it unforgiving, but in truth, it's simply honest. It doesn't hide your mistakes behind electronic aids. It forces you to learn or step aside. As time passed, the automotive world began to change. By the early 1990s, sports cars were getting bigger, faster, and more comfortable. Toyota evolved as well, and the MR2 evolved with it. That evolution became the second generation, the SW20. At first glance, the SW20 feels like the MR2 all grown up. The body is wider, lower, and far more aggressive. Many people immediately compared it to Ferrari, earning it the nickname Baby Ferrari. Yet beneath the more sensual design, the soul remained the same. The engine was still in the middle, the power still went to the rear wheels, and it was still strictly a two-seater. The real transformation reveals itself when the engine comes to life, especially in the turbocharged version powered by the 3S GTE. The jump in performance is dramatic. Acceleration is strong, and when the turbo spools up, it feels like a wave pushing you firmly into the seat. This is no longer just a nimble little sports car. It's a serious performance machine, capable of challenging far more expensive European sports cars of its era. But big power and a mid-engine layout always come with consequences. Early versions of the SW20 became infamous for their snap oversteer. Push too hard through a corner, make one wrong input, and the car could spin with shocking speed. Not because it was evil, but because its balance was extremely sensitive. Toyota later refined the suspension and chassis, making the car more stable and predictable. Still, the reputation stuck. The MR2 remained a car that demanded respect. What makes the MR2 so fascinating is how different its two generations feel. The AW11 is light, raw, and deeply analog. It feels like an old friend who never lies to you. The SW20 is stronger, faster, and more complex. It feels more confident, but also more dangerous if underestimated. Neither of them tries to be easy. Both ask the driver to be present, focused, and involved. Today, the MR2 is no longer in production. The world has moved on. Cars are heavier, quieter, and filled with technology. And yet, that's exactly why the MR2 feels more special than ever. The AW11 is now sought after for its purity and mechanical honesty. The SW20 is prized for its performance and its immense potential. Even decades later, the Toyota MR2 is a reminder of a time when a large manufacturer was willing to take real risks. They built a car that wasn't designed to chase sales numbers alone, but to deliver a feeling behind the wheel. A car that never tried to please everyone, but became unforgettable to those who truly understood it. And maybe that's why the MR2 is still talked about today. Because more than just a car, it's an experience. A story about courage, balance, and the connection between a driver and a machine.